thank you for taking time out of your week to speak to me about the manor.
My pleasure.
The films are arriving on Amazon in the very near future. I guess if we could sort of start back at your initial reading of the script, what was it that sort of stood out to you and made you want to be a part of the project?
Well, I got to meet Excel before I read the script, and she explained a lot to me, but I think there's great horror in the concept of warehousing our elderly and not knowing what they're being put into, what our loved ones are experiencing. And there's so much on the periphery of what's real and what's not, and can we believe them, and can we believe what's going on with them? Is that dementia happening? What is it? And do we care, or we just leave them there? And if we do, how do they deal with it? And it becomes a great adventure, full of conflict and full of how we're going to deal with something when people don't believe it's real. And I've got all of these things going against me. Is it real? Do I believe it's real? What's going on here? And then if we're invested in the characters, and you have to invest in Barbara Hershey. She's just such a wonderful character to carry us into this journey. She's going to take us on that trip, and we're going to be engaged. And it's not a question of age, and it's not a question of genre or anything else. It's a question of, someone's in distress, and is it real? Is it not? The greatest Hitchcock things are about that too. But that's a great premise to start a film and to take us into it and to engage us.
And without too many spoilers, can you tell us a little bit about your character, Roland?
Well, my character is in this home, the manor, sort of have the hots for Barbara. She comes in and she's a beautiful, new, eligible bachelorette in my circle, and there might be other agendas going on there, so we'll have to wait and see.
You mentioned Barbara. This was a sort of a reunion on set, I guess, for you guys. You worked together many years ago. How was it sort of seeing each other again after all this time?
We picked up mid-sentence where we left off 50 years ago. It was the first film for me was last summer, and I think it was the second film for Barbara. And we were running around Fire Island and teenagers, and we would see each other at different times, across a hotel lobby or at an award ceremony and something, and say, hello, how's it going? But this way, we just got to pick up mid-sentence where we left off. I mean, I've always had great respect for Barbara as an actress, and as a human being as well. And she's just such a wonderful person, and it was true love to work with her again. It really was.
Your character Ronald is a little bit of a sort of like the Lothario in a way of the of the manor. It's not something that you typically see in a film from an older gentleman. Was it fun to sort of deviate from expectations?
Well, it depends on the film. I mean, there's a bit of Cocoon in it all, a little darker than that, but no, I think it, Stephen King, I did a TV series with Stephen King, and he said, we always think we're 25 years old. We always think we are. And then you look in the mirror, you're half past 60. What the hell happened? But we always think that in our heads, that, that doesn't go away. That never changes. They just say, beautiful girl, walk a little slower as you walk by me. So...
I guess, the film does deal with, a lot of issues around aging and ageism. Why do you think that as a society, we seem to be so afraid of, being old?
Well, it's a scary place because most of our aging has to do with a society that warehouses our elderly. A lot of, Mediterranean, Mideastern societies, those people are not warehoused. Those people are heads of families that stay there no matter what their condition for their lives. Mm-hmm. And we're not like that for the most part. We're in a hurry. We have other externals to deal with, and a lot of them cut loose. And if you treated your children badly, then you're out the door anyway. But we're a society that's built on a family structure that warehouses that part of our society, and it could be done better, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I guess, as people are living, at least in the Western culture, we're living to be much older. So, do you think it's time that we did away with this stereotype where, you sort of like hit 70 in a film and suddenly you've got, a Zimmer frame, do we need to sort of like, I guess this film goes some of the way to sort of prove that, you don't suddenly age out, people are capable of much more.
Well, since box office doesn't matter as much to that weekend that everybody has to go there, this is the kind of film in which people can just push a button and then that'll come up. And let's face it, there's still a lot of baby boomers around, kids, the younger kids may be yelling, get off, that's the guy that tells me to get off their lawn. But at the same time, there are not just X-Men movies to be made. There are all other audiences. I even with my daughter, who's 15, I keep telling her, besides Stranger Things, there is a movie called Citizen Kane, and I hope you'll see that sometime, so you can see the full ramifications of a life and things like that.
I guess, Halloween is coming up. This film's going to be out in the world just in time for that. Why should people take a chance on this as their spooky season watch?
Because this is a full course meal. I think this film is a full course meal. It's not just a boo, scary, go home, forget about it. This is a film, I think, that might stir the pot enough to make people look at a section of their lives that might use a little examining. At the same time, eat a lot of popcorn and scare the hell out of you.
And once this film's out in the world, with the pandemic sort of slowly starting to get everyone back on its feet, have you got any other projects lined up?
I've been doing Ozark, which is a TV series here in America, on their last season. So I've been flying back and forth down there. I did couple of other films I forgot. I just did a film called Last Call with Keith David, and another one called The Good Neighbor with John Rhys Meyers. So they'll all be coming out eventually. I love independent films.
They're great. Obviously, they give you a chance to sort of, I guess, work on stuff that you wouldn't normally get to do in a blockbuster.
Well, that's it. Their new ideas come out of there, and then everybody copies that.
Well, I will wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors and best of luck with the release of this one.
Thank you, Kat.